Okay, welcome, and you find me at Baulkings Lake near Oxford. Again, one of the Calder lakes. On it again with a U-Wing competitions social, where I was fortunate enough to win a place on a fishing again. Slightly different to the socials in so much as it's even numbers fishing, 5 people. So Adam has put you in 2 teams. As you can see from my t-shirt, I'm in Team Adam today, and then there's Dave and 4 others in Team Dave. Adam's got various competitions running. Certainly there was one first fish caught, which has already happened, and there's whichever team catches the most combined weight. So, and at the moment Adam's team are leading that because just jump in, although we got here at 8 o'clock. Took our time setting up really, just I was going to say we all did a pub chuck. We did really, because we were too late to see showing fish. That said, one of my rods went out to 8 rod lengths out where a fish rolled on a little solid PVA bag with a little pop-up in there. And normally I fish wafters in them, but there's a pop-up in there because when I was last using them it was weedy, and I'd pre-made those bags. So that went out with a pop-up on. My left-hand rod initially went, I think it's only 6.5 wraps out into 17 foot of water, a nice smooth clay bottom, and then my right hand rod is literally a rod length out in 5 foot of water just off an overhanging bush where, I put the marker there and there was a little bit of weed, not a lot of weed, so I just put a pronged lead on and took that bit of weed out. But the plan was just to leave the rods out whilst getting the bivvy and everything set up for the long weekend. In the meantime, we had Kyle across to my left in swim 13, I'm in swim 12, and he's team Dave. He had a 17.25 mirror, I think it was. Yeah, mirror, I should know. I went round and did the weigh-in for him and took the photographs for him, 17.25 mirror. And then about an hour later, we've got Darren, not immediately right because no one's in swim 11, but in swim 10, and he had a nice 25.4 mirror. So each team's had 1 fish. Since then I've found a spot now which I will now concentrate on slightly to my left. Everything's close fishing because it's so deep as soon as you get out. I'm fishing 6 wraps, and that's on 11 foot of water, or 11 foot to the bottom, nice gravelly bed. And yeah, I had a few casts with a rig on just to make sure there was no weed there. There isn't, so I've got a little pink wafter in a solid PVA bag there with some pellet around it and a bit of the creamy milk boilies that I normally use in the winter, but basically I've just gone through the fridge, gone through the freezer and clearing it all down ready for this winter. So I want to get the old baits out, so that's why I'm fishing on that rod. Middle rod is going to be fished over a lot of Icelandic red. Again, I've cleared the freezer out. I've got about 5 kilos of Icelandic red in 15s and 18s, I think they are, or 14s and 18s. And they've been glugging in salmon oil for the last 4 days, just to give off a nice bit of smell and everything in the water. They're being fished at 7 wraps, and that's in 17 foot of water. Again, that's on quite a clear, smooth clay patch. And as I've said, my right hand rod is just close in on this tree, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can catch a fish. This has been my 3rd U-Wing competition social and my 3rd quarter water and I've not had a fish yet. So fingers crossed we have a fish, and I'll update the vlog as we go along. So welcome back. It's early evening now, just finished my dinner, and yeah, the rods are out in place. We were lulled into a full sense of security earlier with those 2 early fish because nothing else has happened today. So hopefully we can get something out in the night. Lee down the end did lose one earlier on, but other than that no one's had any action. But at the end of the day it's a 20-acre lake. There's 10 of us on, so in theory 2 acres each. 580 fish in here, up to 35 pounds. So hopefully some of them get on the feed tonight and 1 or 2 of us can catch some fish and update the vlog. Well, it'd be nice if I could update one before dark with a fish, but possibly going into the night or early morning. Either way, I'll put the camera on if I get a fish or someone close to me does. Okay, see you in a bit. Very quiet night. A couple of bleeps on one rod, the rod that I'd put the snowman out on, the 5 wraps. And yeah, I was up at 5 o'clock. Thought I'd wind that in just in case the bait had been attacked, but yeah, it was perfect when I wound it in. So I don't know what that was. There was early yesterday evening, there was one more fish out on the other side, Carlos, I think it was 20 pounds exactly. And other than that, quiet night for everyone. I say quiet, apart from you might be able to hear them now, dogs. Oh my God, they don't stop barking all night long. There must be a kennel or something, I'm guessing over that way by the sound of it. But yeah, kept me awake most of the night, constant barking. Could have done without that. But anyway, that aside, tactics for today, I don't know. I've, as I said, I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I've not seen a fish. I mean, that doesn't mean a fish hasn't rolled or shown in front of me, because certainly if you watch my Bible vlogs, I've got one a couple of weeks ago I was fishing, and yeah, I'll put a little, not up there, I'll slip a little bit in here of a little short video. Basically, I'm so busy tying up a rig that I don't see the right hand rod get a bite on it. And I'm on a little jetty, and as the right hand rod bangs over, it makes a jetty. It sounded like a rat or an otter's gone under the jetty, and I jump up and I'm looking at my feet. Meanwhile, the rod's doing this and hooping over. So yeah, digressed a little bit, but it just goes to show, you know, I can be looking there for a fish to roll. When it rolls there, I'm not going to see it. So the fact I haven't seen anything doesn't actually mean nothing's happened, but the likelihood is it hasn't. I heard one fish about 6 o'clock this morning roll over there, and at the same time as that happened, the kingfisher landed on my rod. So didn't have any cameras on me, but I had my phone in my pocket, so I quickly got the phone out and did a little bit of footage of the kingfisher sitting on the rod. I mean, unfortunately the light levels aren't good enough to see his colours, but first time I've actually managed to catch the kingfisher, and as I say that, 2 of them have just flown past. Amazing. Yeah. Anyway, tactics for today. I mean, I'm still going to sit on those same spots. I'm trying to keep off the jetty because, again, that 5-foot spot just over there, just off the bush, it's this time of year. I used to fish at Carthagena, Jerry Hammond's syndicate, for a couple of years, and you could regularly get takes July and August between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. in a similar position to that. So I'm hoping that the fish are going to come along the front without me knowing it. I mean, I really thought that would go last night, but it didn't, obviously. As I've said, nothing's happened. So yeah, that's, I don't know what to do. Sit on my hands at least until 8 o'clock and then maybe put a zig out. Yeah, again, you know, I've not seen any bird life taking bugs off the top to suggest there's a hatch. And because I'm not seeing fish, I don't know. They could be in the upper layers, but who knows where. But I think that will be tactically what I'll do this morning. Yeah, if nothing's happened by 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock, get a zig out until whatever time the barbecue is. I'm not sure what time that is, but yeah, I'll update the vlog in a bit with either a fish or just before I go to the barbecue. So, see you then. Got double today.
That's what we need for it. Footage. One more. As I Bria.
Welcome back. So we're back from the barbecue now. All our bellies nice and full. I left a little bit early. They started, there was a team game at the end of the barbecue. I think it was called Jägermeister Pongo or something. And basically they lined up 10 cups for each team, and filled the cups with Jägermeister, triple shots of Jägermeister and a bit of Red Bull. And luckily James stepped into my place to make Adam's team 5. The idea was to bounce a mainline pop-up on the table like a ping pong ball, and if it landed in the cup, your opposing opponent had to drink that cup. And I videoed a little bit of it, which I've slipped in and you're probably watching as I'm chatting now. I'm not sure who won because it was going on, and in the end the battery went flat on the GoPro, so gave me a good excuse to come back and get my rods back out. But yeah, if it was me on one of those cups, I would have been in trouble. I'm not a big drinker. 3 pints, I'm quite happy. 4 pints, I'm probably gone. So yeah, but anyway, we're back in our swims now and everybody's casting out or baiting up and got their rods out. For me, there's been a tactical change on one rod. The one rod that was down to my left in 11 feet of water, I've not seen anything there, and I did see a fish roll, either the same fish or 2 fish roll, a while before we went to the barbecue. So I put the marker rod out there and it's quite clear. It's in 20 feet of water. So I've got one rod out there. I've just gone for it on there. I've put half a bucket of pellet out there, catapulted some boilie out there, put some corn out there in the hope that the fish are swimming around in groups, and if I do get a take on there, it'll hold fish there long enough to get the rod back out onto the same spot again. And the right hand rod is still back under this tree in the 5 foot of water, and the left hand rod is on that I think it's 5 wraps in 17 feet of water. So we'll see what happens. There have been a few more fish out. I think I said this morning nothing had happened. We was on 3 fish, but actually Neil had another fish yesterday evening, probably about this time. I think that was 23 pounds something. And then Lee down in the corner there, he had a 20 pound and a couple of ounces, I think it was, this afternoon. And then Chris, who's dead opposite me, he had one just before we went down to the barbecue. And it's interesting, I watched this morning, because he's dead opposite, I can see he's fishing similar to me, baiting up his spots and everything. And this morning I just felt like, he looked like he just cast a bag out into open water. And anyway, I had a fish, and when we was at the barbecue, I was talking to him, and he said, yeah, because his spots weren't producing, he just launched a bag full of pellet out into pub chuck, if you like, and the rod tore off. And so that's 7 fish have been out now. And if you've got, Darren's was a pub chuck when we first got here into the bay. Carl was a pub chuck single bait that got taken. So now Chris over there, pub chuck, solid bag with pellet in. And trying to remember what the other 2 fish are. Neil, I didn't ask him what his was. So at least 4 of the 7 have just been pub chucks basically. Which, you know, normally you'd say that's not the way to be fishing, but it's what's working. So a part of me thinks, should I have just put a solid bag out on that spot where I've seen the fish, not any bait. But for today, we've put bait out there and we'll see what happens. If nothing happens, then tomorrow it probably will be a case of pub chucks. You know, we've got 38 hours. Well, certainly till I've got to get it off early Monday because I've got things to do. So, but we've still got 38 hours to go. Hopefully the fish get their heads down and get a few more fish for the vlog. And it's not just me waffling on about nothing. So yeah, hopefully update this with a fish in the night, or if not, in the morning. See you. Okay, good morning and welcome back. You have to ignore the barking in the background. It's, yeah, just constant dog barking. I like the lake, I don't like the dogs. Again, a pretty sleepless night for most people with the dogs barking, but there's not a lot you can do about that. Nothing's happened last night, not for anyone. I think I wrongly said yesterday that there's been 7 fish out. There's only been 6 fish out to 6 individual anglers, so 4 of us still not caught. 3 fish have been lost. Chris, opposite me, lost one yesterday about an hour after coming back from the barbecue. I think Neil lost one yesterday evening as well, and Lee had lost one a couple of days ago. So yeah, it's been 9 bites to 6 anglers and 6 fish landed. So what we have got, I mean, I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, and at 4 o'clock the lake was like a mill pond. It was last night as well, actually. Just before dark it went very calm, and very little fish were showing, and certainly nothing in front of me. And then this morning from 4 o'clock, well, it's been like a dolphin show, over to, as I look at Chris, my right, he's left. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get at least one more take today. There is a lot of fish over there. But what has happened now is the wind has turned. We've got a mild easterly which is blowing straight into me. Flip side of that is it'll be a lot cooler today. I mean, at 4 o'clock, it's weird, 4 o'clock I was in shorts and t-shirts. I'd had a stripped down wash, not that you need to know that, in the bivvy, and a change of all my clothes. And was sitting there in my shorts and t-shirt, and now as you can see I've got my dirty sweatshirt and joggers over the top again. So it's a lot cooler, but hopefully It may make some fish move this way. We've got, certainly the wind picks up. I think it goes up to 30 mile an hour later in the day, which will be cold, but if it was a winter it'd be the kiss of death. But in the summer the fish may follow that wind and move over towards me. That's the that's my hope anyway. We're, you know, this time tomorrow, I think it's 9:15 now. This time tomorrow I'll be in the car park. I need to get away. So I'm into the last 24 hours now. Hoping to save a blank. It's meant to be pretty prolific, this water, but it's not turned out that way so far. Who knows, 24 hours could be a big difference. Fish could just suddenly switch on and we're away. That's all. I guess all of us are hoping for that. So yeah, nothing else to say really. Update, I'm sure someone will have a fish, and if I can get around to them with the GoPro just to get some bit of action on the camera really. Otherwise, as I've said before, they're boring vlogs if nothing's happening. I think that's why barbel vlogs get a few thousand views compared to the carp vlogs. But anyway, hopefully update it with some action later on, but if not, update it as I'm wrapping up tomorrow. So see you soon. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, quick afternoon update. There's one more fish out this morning to Chris on the opposite side. Not sure what that was actually in size. Check my phone, I can tell you. Bear with me, folks. Just totally unprepared. 21 pounds 11. So Adam's team are on 5 fish now for 113 pounds 04, and Dave's team are on 3 fish for 58.02 going into the last night. So yeah, at the moment it's looking good for Team Adam, albeit Adam and myself haven't actually caught for that team. So what is good, there's been, as I said, this wind's turned. It's kept on me all day, and fish now, the odd fish is showing halfway across the lake. So that is, you know, I'm very happy with that. They're definitely heading this way, so hopefully can get on a fish today or tonight before we go home. Tactically, a slight change. The rod that was under the bush in 5 foot of water, there's always little bits of weed around it, even with a pop-up, and nothing's happened on there. I've just moved a couple of rod lengths out. I think I'm fishing 3 rod lengths out now, and I put the marker out this morning. Basically that's just past a reed bed, just past a weed bed even, on a clear spot, and I've just been trickling pellet in there throughout the day. A bit of corn, bit of maize and a few boilies, with the idea by now any pellet that is really mushy and giving off loads of scent. The boilies that I use, they've only got to be in there, well, not the ones on the hook obviously, but the freebies, they've only got to be in the water 4 hours, and they're pretty go to mush. Fish comes along to eat them, they don't get much of a mouthful of food. So that's the plan on that rod. Again, tactically a little change rig wise. I've gone on a spinner rig on that with a little yellow pop up over the top, because we've got maize and stuff out there. So that's the plan on that one. Left hand rod has just gone out to the same spot it's gone out ever since I've been here. 5 wraps out in line with a big tree over the other side, and yeah, there's been plenty of bait over there for the last couple of days, so I'm not going to put any more bait on there. Just put a stick on there. Well, that's gone out. So, and that's the same as I've been doing all week, a boilie with a little bit of plastic corn on top. And then the middle rod, again, that's just staying on its same spot for now, with a solid bag and a little white wafter in there. So we'll see if one spot starts to, or gets a fish, I may move one of the other rods onto the same spot, in the hope that the bait I've been putting out the last couple of days will hold a shoal of fish if it comes along, and I can get a couple of quick bites off of it. Not that I'm being greedy or anything, But yeah, that's where we are for now as we're going into the final evening. So, update you with the fish later on. There's positivity for you. But if not, I'll wrap it up in the morning. Okay, see you then. Okay, good morning and welcome back. Just do a little update. I'm not going to wrap the vlog up here. I'll wrap it up in a couple of hours time. Just an update on what's happened since I last spoke to you. So went to bed and the fish still hadn't got over as far as I would have liked. They were still in the middle. So got my head down about 10. When I woke up it was 4 o'clock and I thought I've got up at 4 o'clock every morning. I won't get up today. I've not seen anything both mornings. So sort of cat napping on the bed and I heard a fish. I thought, oh, that sounded a bit closer. 10 minutes later I heard another one. I thought that sounded closer as well. So I got up and watched the water and yeah, the fish are certainly in my area now. I've had 8 good shows, not far off my spots. So I'm hopeful of the fish this morning. Carl in the corner, he said he's got fish down in this bay now. So they follow the winter, he's hopeful of another fish. Beautiful sunrise. So every day I've had a nice sunrise, but today was probably the best one because it wasn't cloudy when the sun was coming up. So that was really good. And then there have been a couple of fish out. Alan over in the far side there, he's had 2 this morning. I think they were 20 and 21 pound. And then Darren next door has just had one and his was 19 pounds. So we're going into the last couple of hours. I think Team Adam, albeit Adam and myself haven't contributed yet, are 34 pounds up on Team Dave. So we'll see, a couple of hours to go and hopefully there'll be a few more fish out in that time. Be nice if one of them comes to me. And yeah, that's where we are for now. So as I say, I'll update this with an ending in a couple of hours when I'm all packed down and possibly the rods will still be out because I haven't had a fish and I'm trying to nick one, but hopefully that's not the case. So yeah, catch up with you in a bit. Okay, let's wrap the vlog up then. I mean, the fat lady's not singing, but she's clearing her throat. My rods are just on the pontoon now with stones on the reels and loose clutches, so they can still scream off, but I'm clutching at straws now because I've never ever had that happen to me. In fact, my friend Darren will be watching this and laughing because it's probably 10 years since I've done that. That's how much I gave up the faith of it. I've only ever known one person it go to, and that's our friend Darren. But yeah, anyway, I've digressed. So there's been one more fish. Lee in the corner had I think it was either 16 or 17 pound. So there's 17 pounds difference now between Team Adam and Team Dave with an hour to go. As I say, I'm all ready to go, just the rods to come in. A little bit about the lake. Well, I would definitely come here again, even though for me personally, you know, the fish have come over a day too late or I've arrived a day too early. But I would definitely come here again. Really nice lake, nice countryside. Pain in the arse of dog kennels. It's I think I put a bit in earlier with them barking. As I say, if you come here, try and get some sleep in the day because you're not sleeping at night, not with that noise. We're all a bit fatigued, to say the least. So yeah, that's a downside. The track to the car park is shockingly poor. Even my car grounded out. I've got a Sportage that grounded out coming along. One of the chaps with a spoiler on the front of his van. You can't come down that track with a spoiler on your van, you'll rip it off. And then the tracks from the car park to these pegs the furthest away, absolute nightmare. My barrow went over twice, and then when I was speaking to Carl over there, his barrow went over twice. So yeah, don't load your barrows up too much, do 2 trips so as you can control your barrow a bit more. Fish wise, as I've said, there's meant to be 580 fish in here, so there is a good head of fish. The biggest fish any of us has had was ironically Darren next door with his pub chuck when we first got here, that 25 pounder within 40 minutes of being here, and that's been the biggest fish so far. As I say, there is still an hour to go. If something changes, I will somehow slot it in here, but yeah, if not, that's the end for us. What else? I don't know what else I can say about the lake. Obviously, if you want to get on here, it's group booking, so it's not something you can come and do on your own. Facilities, there's definitely a toilet back there, a toilet in that car park. I suspect there might be one in the other little car park. They're just a basic hole in the ground with a built-up box, toilet seat, sawdust down the hole. They do the job, they're fine. I mean, shops, yeah, I don't know where they are because I always bring everything with me. We met at McDonald's, which is 10 minutes away in the morning when we came here. So we all had a breakfast here. I think it's my first McDonald's breakfast since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, but some would say I'm not a lot taller now either. Anyway, digressing again. Hope you've enjoyed the vlog, and hopefully it's been useful to anyone who is coming out here. We're back again 5 weeks' time. We're on Pettis Lake. I think, well, definitely the hardest lake on the Norton Disney complex. See if I can put an end to my embryo cauda blanking. So I've done billies, turners, and now here without a fish. Yeah, let's see if we can nick one out at Pettis. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this, watch out for the vlog on there. See you then.